we should move on and perhaps highlight some of the passages that have a positive depiction of
Yes.
blackness in the rabbinic text. And I'm here reading from
Oh,
Sifrei Bamidbar, which is a
uh-huh.
Tannaitic midrash on the book of Numbers. So by Tanaim, we mean it's slightly earlier than the commentary on Genesis that we just read. At least the teachings are attributed to these Tanaim, who are from the roughly
Right.
speaking the first 2 centuries of the Common Era. And again, using what's open access Sepharia, so there can be some errors here. Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yossi HaGalili, said Zipporah, or Zipporah, I guess in English, Moses' wife, that is. Why was she called Zipporah? And they're going to play here with the Hebrew word, vocalize it a little differently, and so forth. Zipporah, you can read it as Tzfu Uru'u, which means look and see how beautiful the woman is. Now, what's striking, of course, is according to the Tanakh, to the Hebrew Bible, Zipporah was a Cushite and therefore black. And that's what the commentary goes on to discuss. It says the Cushite or Ethiopian woman, if we want, Numbers 12, verse 1. Now, why was she an Ethiopian or a Cushite? Wasn't she a Midianite? And the priest of Midian had seven daughters, quoting from Exodus 2:16. What is the intent of Cushite in Numbers 12:1? Just as a Cushite is exceptional in his skin, or we could say her skin, so Tzipporah was exceptional in her beauty, more so than all women. So I don't know what you think or you find interesting about this part of this commentary on Numbers 12, verse 1.
I think this commentary is just demonstrating how you can play with words. I'll give you an
Mhm.
example. So you mentioned Sipora. If we change the Sadi from Sipora, her name, to a Shin, then you can then form the word Shapira in Aramaic, which means beautiful. So the rabbis they play with language in the form of midrash by changing letters, changing letters that sound the same. So a sadi for shin, a an aleph for an ayin, a het for chaf. They change or kaf for kuf by changing these letters that sound kind of the same or similar in Hebrew. Then you can form a different word in order to then bring out a teaching. So the question now is, when I read Midrash, the question is, what do we learn from this? What do they want to teach us? That's the question we have to ask. What do we want to learn from this? And if we go to Rashi and look at his commentary about this use of language this way, he reconciles it saying that he says the following, something to the effect that if you take, if you want to protect something that is beautiful, you can then say utilizing something that's ugly. So kind of warding off the evil eye, so to speak. You can utilize an epithet that's the opposite in order to then protect it from this negative or ascribe negativity to it. So Sipporah, she's really a Midianite, genealogically speaking, but she's considered to be a Cushite because the Cushim are ugly, as he already stated in the previous commentary. But by saying that, calling her a Cushite is actually saying the opposite, which is she was so beautiful. This is what the Rashi does with his commentary, and it's important to kind of follow the way he thinks to be able to understand this use of language.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know what you think about that.
Well, what I was going to say is it it doesn't the fact that she's a Cushite and Cushite in antiquity that meant black. You know the
Yes,
and so what I find striking about this passage from rabbinic commentary, Sifrei Bamidbar, the commentary on Numbers that we just read, is for them it's not an issue to entertain
it's not
the
pejorative.
yeah, blackness is like, no. and unless somebody says, well, they're just speaking in a figurative way, because rereading the commentary, just as a Cushite is exceptional in his skin, so Tzipporah was exceptional in her beauty. I can see somebody maybe doing some hair splitting and saying, well, it doesn't say that the black skin was beauty. It
Yes,
says it was exceptional. So it was just different. If we read on this commentary, I'm hopping to the last paragraph of the section that I'm sharing here. It says, for he had taken a Cushite woman, right? Numbers 12:1. Why is this written? Is it not written immediately before about the Cushite woman that he had taken? So in Numbers 12, verse 1, it contains a redundancy in its language for the rabbis.
yeah,
This is a story where Aaron, Aharon, and Miriam are complaining about Moses because
right,
he had taken a Cushite wife, and he repeats Cushite wife twice in the same verse. And this commentator is like, why does it say Cushite
right,
wife again? We already know it's a Cushite woman. And so this is what the commentary says. There are those who are beautiful in appearance, but not in deed. Indeed, but not in appearance, as it is stated in Proverbs 11:22, like
right.
a golden ring in the snout of a pig is a beautiful woman lacking in sense. This one, that is Tzipporah, was beautiful in both. Wherefore it is written about the
Okay.
Cushite wife that he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite woman. In other words, it's not just the figurative sense. She was beautiful on the inside. She was beautiful on the outside, and she was black. She was a Cushite. And the Tanaim here, they're okay with that. It's not
Right.
ugly.
Right. You know what Ibn Ezra comments about this Cushite woman because the text doesn't say it was Sipporah. The rabbis in this midrash connect that this Cushite woman is Sipporah. Ibn Ezra says Moshe had another wife
Oh,
who was
okay.
from Cush.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because then that's another way of reconciling the fact that the Bible says a Midianite and a Cushite, right? How can it be both? He had
Yeah,
he had two
that's right.
wives.
It can be both.
Yeah,
Right.
it couldn't be the same
That's
person. Yeah,
that's a
interesting.
sola scriptura interpretation.